What is going on, everyone? Today is May 27th, or the 26th, actually. It is the day post Memorial Day. Performed pretty terribly. This is the trade I took. I'll explain that in a second. This is a P&L, 2177, down 217 across all the accounts. Pretty much same mishap as Friday, basically. But yeah, so coming into the day, we had this hourly gap down here, this hourly buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency right here that I was targeting. I was either looking for these equal highs at all-time highs to get hit, or this, pre-market low to get hit, or this pre-market low right here to get hit. That was my target. Bang, long off of here. That was pretty much my insight on the day. That was my analysis for pre-market. So I was just eyeing those gaps, basically. So boom, what happens? New York opens, we slowly melt down, and yeah, so I'm eyeing this inverse because I see that ES at this time was absolutely just shit the bed. ES shit the bed. We swept that London low that I was looking for. So we had an SMT at the low on ES with the London low. We also did not sweep this low on NQ, so little SMT on, wherever London low is right here. So this SMT obviously is super bullish, also considering all-time highs is literally right there. So what was I looking? I was like, all right, I'll wait when this gap gets inversed. I'll slap an entry right here. Bang, like that. Little 38-point stop. And TP would be all-time highs, of course, 3.34. And unfortunately, this is what happens. Boom, we get the inverse, right? So I set my limit order exactly like this, but what ends up happening, price just rips, man. It absolutely rips, just rips to the upside, and I'm thinking, wow, I just missed the trade of the day. But obviously I'm gonna wait for another entry, maybe another setup, something else, right? So this setup didn't work out. I'm gonna pretend like I'm already in long. I'm gonna TP at all-time highs. We missed all-time highs again. This is our fourth equal high. But what happens on the 5-minute? Let's just take a look. So we have this 5-minute imbalance. Actually, we have this BPR, but I'm going to eye this imbalance right here, and we have this 5-minute order block. I would mark this out as a change in the state of delivery, though, just because there is an SMT at the low. So technically, these candles swept liquidity on ES, just not on NQ because of the SMT. So this is a change in the state of delivery, order block, if that's what you want to, call it as, but I am using the SMT to indicate this is a change in the state of delivery. We have this 5-minute buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, and I'm looking for price to tap into this area right here and then rip back to all-time highs. What do we get? Let's see. All right, we don't tap. Boom, we tap it right there, and we get this 1-minute change in the state of delivery, sweeping out this minor sell side right here. But we also got a 30-second inverse, so this entry would have been great. This would have been a great entry. The only issue with this is the TP. Now, I could have went break even after sweeping all-time highs, especially considering that ES at this time was nowhere near its all-time high. Yeah, ES was nowhere near its all-time high. So I could have just went break even after sweeping all-time highs, but I just decided to fade this entry out just because I didn't really see this playing out that well. Okay, I did not really think this would play out that well. So, let's just watch. Bang, tap the CISD and just start ripping higher. Where would I have TP'd? I probably would have just held this for 30,100, just like even levels and go for even numbers. This would have been a 3.6 RR. Dude, this is brutal, man. I really was mad that I missed this one. This was a great continuation. But it is what it is. I'm going to wait for another retrace. Okay, I'm going to wait. Obviously, after sweeping all-time highs, let's see if we're still bullish. And we obviously are. So had I went break even after sweeping this, I would have been fine. I would have been in profit, whatever. Probably would have ended up hitting TP right there. Yeah, so, okay, we create these equal highs right here, and I'm still eyeing some sort of long, okay? Now, we have this range that did not really get rebalanced, but because of the SMT on ES, right here. Let me show you guys. Bang. SMT between these two lows. And if I just mark that out, after seeing this SMT, this range has been rebalanced. So where is my new range? It's gonna be right here. This is gonna be my new range. I'm gonna wait for price to tap into OTE, and I'll see if I can get a long off of that. Now, obviously that's what I said going into this beginning of this move down. We obviously have this 15-minute gap, this 15-minute gap, this 15-minute gap, a lot of gaps, a lot of LR as well too. This could be just trendline liquidity that we want to ramp through, but I'm gonna wait and see what happens. We start a slow, painful burn down into this 15-minute right here. Now, what ends up happening as well, we create this 30-minute gap right here. We also have a 30-minute gap that forms literally right there as well. What is this? Yeah, at 11 a.m., boom, 30-minute gap right there. This is what I'm eyeing. I'm eyeing this 30-minute gap. The only problem is that it is super, super deep and high into premium. This is in like way premium of the range, way over 50%. We have not rebalanced. This is a pretty messy long. It feels way too late to long right here. So waiting. What do we end up seeing? Boom, inverse right there. Inverse out of the 30-minute, out of this 15-minute. The only issue is that we did not rebalance. However, same as Friday, same idea. We are super bullish. We're at all-time highs. I'm expecting us to rip higher. What do? Slap along. Right there. Bang. 5 micros. Bang. Stop. Right at the low. Take profit. At the highs. Now, is this a terrible trade? Not really, okay? This is a great, decent setup, okay? We have our prices rebalancing into this imbalance. We are filling this imbalance. We have this inversion, a V-shape for higher. We are sweeping out minor sell side over here. Now the only issue is that we are super overextended, basically. We are way in premium right here. So what ends up happening? Dude, instantly stopped out. And now, unfortunately, this was my one and done trade of the day. Looking at Friday though, a long presented at PM. So I said, okay, what if I just wait for PM session? I could probably find another long opportunity. Let's go ahead and delete this range and just let price do its thing. We end up just a slow burn for lower. However, on the way down to these lows, we create a bunch of trend line liquidity that price can just ram through later on. Right? There's all this trend line liquidity for a beautiful long back into these equal highs at all-time highs. Also another reason this long failed, we had a 30-minute CRT begin to play out. This candle closes back in the range, and this candle needs to deliver to this low. I had pretty obvious things going against my long, and I still chose to long. That is 100% on me, probably because I was emotional about missing this one and emotionally about missing this one. So I decided to just jump in wherever I could. Now, here's where things get pretty interesting. Right here, New York AM is down here. If we look at this entire range as a whole, if we look at this whole range, we are now in OTE of this range, as well as ES has just shot lower and tapped the new week opening gap, creating an SMT again. So super bullish. Now, what do I expect to happen? Let me look for this inverse. Boom, we get this inverse. Now, unfortunately, I hesitated so hard on this. I hesitated so hard on this trade right here. I should have just took this long right here and TP'd back at all-time highs. Would have been great. All right, let's pretend I got in this. Boom, right there, little 240 stop and 1200 TP. This would have been beautiful, man. We immediately rip. We create, just more structure. It chops for a brutally long time, absolutely brutally long time, but we do end up getting a delivery into the close of the session, and I believe the session ends right around here somewhere. Let's just see. Yeah, so the session ends right around there. So I could have closed for 730 bucks. Now, I did not take this. Obviously, I hesitated really hard because I already took a loss on the day, and I was thinking, I already lost. Do I want to lose again? Do I want to end up the day lower and losing more and risking more than what I had originally intended? No, I'm just going to get off the charts. So after I saw this long begin to play out, I just got off, dude. And, you know, this was a terribly slow trade, but it does deliver and it does play out. And that's what you want to see. So unfortunately, I did not really learn anything from Friday's loss. I hope today can solidify in my mind to not buy in a premium and wait for a proper pullback. Honestly, I think I should make my trading window from 9:30 to 11. I should really only make my trading window an hour and a half long, because that's when a majority of these great setups start and play out for the rest of the day. This was terrible. It failed instantly. And this was a super slow burner that is not really high probability, other than the fact that we get an SMT at the new week opening gap and we get this inversion and we're in OTE of the range. Obviously it's a good setup, but the delivery is just awful, dude. And that's because it's so late into the session. I think I'm gonna just begin to trade from 9:30 open to 11 o'clock. And that's going to be my window of trading. That's going to be my kill zone, if that's what you want to call it. I'm really mad about missing this long. I'm really mad about missing this long. But it is what it is, man. I really hope I can just get out a drawdown by the end of the week, maybe by the end of next week, maybe get a payout next week, payout the week after, something. I'm going to risk a little heavier moving forward just to get it over with. I really don't like how long I've spent on these accounts with no movement. Yeah, I can't move forward if I don't move at all, man. Hence this right here, hesitation prevents growth. I can't move forward if I don't move at all. So hope you guys enjoyed the recap. I do believe this was trade of the day, and this was possibly a continuation for the day. Yeah, this was definitely not the trade of the day. So this was pretty brutal right here. Immediately went into drawdown. This is just bad, man. Overall, really bad. But yeah, I hope tomorrow I can do something better. I do believe, actually, that we do have some news tomorrow as well, so that should be good. Nope, we do not have news tomorrow. All right, so I just hope tomorrow could be better. If not, I'm not going to trade. But yeah, so no more buying in a premium. And obviously, if there's a CRT playing out, I'm just going to let it play out. And I'm going to look to trade in the beginning of the session. That's going to be my goal. I'm going to write those down, trade earlier, get it over with earlier, and see if I can catch a move earlier. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and hopefully tomorrow it's a better look than this. Hopefully we'll see some fat green right here. But yeah, we'll see, and see you guys tomorrow.